You open Instagram on a Tuesday morning, and within 60 seconds you have seen 2 engagement announcements, someone's new apartment, a university graduation, a business launch, and a travel photo from a place you have only ever searched on Google. And then you put your phone down and look at your own life, and the gap between where you are and where you thought you would be by now feels enormous. You are not ungrateful, and you know this. Genuinely, you want good things for the people in your feed, but something quiet and heavy settles in your chest when you scroll, and if you are honest about what it is, it sounds something like, "Why is everyone else moving forward while I feel stuck?" That feeling is more common than anyone admits, and whether it feels like it right now or not, it is one of the most important crossroads you will ever face. Why? Because what you do with that feeling, and more specifically who you talk about it, will shape everything that comes next. The world offers answers that do not last when we feel behind. The world hands us a list of solutions: work harder, optimize your routine, find a better strategy. Compare yourself to successful people and reverse engineer what they did, and to be fair, none of those things are entirely wrong. Hard work matters, likewise discipline, but here is what nobody tells you when you are grinding at midnight trying to close the gap between your reality and your goals. None of those strategies can touch the deeper question underneath the striving. The question is not really how do I get to where I want to be. The real question, the one keeping you up at 2 in the morning, is, does my life have a purpose, and is that purpose still accessible to me after everything I have been through? That question does not have a productivity answer. It has only one answer, and that answer is God. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. Jeremiah 29 verse 13, what it actually means to seek God. Seeking God is not a religious activity reserved for people who have their lives together. It is not lighting candles and sitting in silence for an hour every morning before a perfectly made cup of coffee. That image of spiritual life is lovely for a social media post and completely disconnected from the reality of most young adults trying to navigate a complicated world. Seeking God looks like turning to Him first when you get the news that changes everything. It looks like being honest with Him in the car on the way to a job you are not sure about anymore. It looks like opening His Word not to perform devotion, but because you genuinely need something to hold on to today. It looks like telling Him the truth about the comparison, and the frustration, and the exhaustion, because He already knows, and He is not waiting for a sanitized version of your prayers before He responds. Jeremiah 29 verse 13 does not say you will find God when you seek Him perfectly. It says you will find Him when you seek Him with all your heart. That means the whole messy, tired, confused, comparing heart that opened Instagram this morning. He meets that heart. He is not repelled by where you actually are. You are not behind. You are being prepared. Let me speak directly to the person who has been quietly convinced that they have fallen too far behind to catch up. The one who had a plan and the plan did not survive contact with real life. The one who is 27 or 31 or 35 and feels like the window for their biggest dreams is closing faster than they are moving toward them. Joseph was 17 when God gave him a dream. He was 30 when that dream finally began to unfold. 13 years passed between the promise and the position. 13 years that included betrayal, slavery, false accusation, and prison. From the outside it looked like a life going backwards. From inside the story it was preparation so thorough that when the moment came, Joseph was exactly who he needed to be to carry what God had built for him. You are not behind Joseph's timeline. You are not behind anyone's timeline. You are on yours, and yours was designed by someone who does not make scheduling errors, and that person is God, governor over destinies. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles, they will run and not grow weary, they will walk and not be faint. Isaiah 40 verse 31. The thing that changes when God becomes your answer. There is something that shifts in a person when they stop running their life purely on their own understanding and start genuinely seeking God for direction. It is not that everything suddenly becomes easy. Joseph's story did not become easy the moment he committed to walking with God, but there is a steadiness that comes. A sense that even in the waiting, you are not wasting time. Even in the preparation season, something real is being built. Think about the young adult who is 24 and in a job that feels like the wrong fit, wondering why God has not opened the door they have been praying about for 2 years. The temptation is to assume God is not listening, or that his answer is no, or that they are somehow disqualified from the version of their life they hoped for. But seeking God in that season, really seeking him, tends to reveal things that striving never could. It reveals character gaps that needed to close before the bigger opportunity could be handled well. It reveals relationships that needed to be formed, or left behind, before the next chapter could be navigated wisely. It reveals a depth of faith that only comes from learning to trust him when you cannot see what he is doing. None of these shows up on Instagram, but all of it matters more than the highlights that do. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight. Proverbs 3 verse 5-6. The path he makes straight is not always the fastest one, but it is the one that gets you where you were actually created to go, fully formed and fully ready, rather than arriving early and unprepared for what was waiting. Seek him not as a last resort after everything else has failed, not as a religious duty that earns you better circumstances. Seek him because he is the only one who knows the full picture of your life and loves you completely within it. Seek him because the answers he carries are the only ones that will actually hold when the pressure comes. Seek him because you are not behind. Know that you are being prepared, and what he is preparing you for is worth every day of the process. Something to think about. Take a quiet moment with these. No performance required. Just honesty. When life feels stuck or slow, where do you naturally turn first? What does that pattern reveal about where you are actually placing your trust? Is there a dream or a promise you have quietly started to let go of because the timeline did not look the way you expected? What would it mean to hand that back to God today and trust his preparation process? What might God be building in you right now in this season that could not be built any faster without breaking something important? A prayer for the one who feels stuck. God, I am going to be honest with you. I have been feeling behind, and I have been carrying that weight on my own for too long. Today I choose to seek you first, not because I have figured everything out, but because I trust that you have. Help me to stop measuring my progress by everyone else's highlight reel, and start trusting the preparation you are doing in me right now. I believe that what you have promised for my life is still on its way. And I choose to keep walking toward it with you. Amen. Your challenge this week: seek before you scroll. Every morning this week, before you open any social media app, spend 5 minutes with God first. It does not have to be structured or long. Talk to him about the day ahead. Read one verse. Sit quietly for a moment, and let him be the first voice you give your attention to. Do this for 7 days and pay attention to what shifts in how you see your life and your season. God does not compete for your attention. But when he gets it first, everything else tends to find its proper size.